are listening to someone, I don't care how big of a platform they have. I don't care how prominent they sound. I don't care how, let's say no one doesn't hear them or they don't know, no one doesn't know them. If they don't preach against sin, you probably need to reevaluate that. Because there's a lot of people speaking, but it's not a lot of people condemning, not even condemning. There's not a lot of people speaking against sin. Like, they don't speak against things so that they're able to keep their crowd. Now, I have many thoughts on that, but they don't do it. They also don't preach on topics that would condemn them. Let me give you an example. So from 2014 to 2015, I was a part of a ministry. God saved me from that ministry. That ministry was witchcraft. Years later, now that I'm thinking about it, I realized that the overseer at the time, and he functioned as a prophet, but he was a pastor. He never spoke against fornication. He never spoke against sexual immorality. And now that I think about it, I mean, why would that? That is like you basically outing yourself, or you're outing people that are close to you. Like, they're not going to do that. So again, they do stuff like that, right? Now, y'all got to use wisdom, because some people, they just don't talk about certain topics as far as, because that wasn't their assignment, right? So there's one or two topics that I don't talk about. It has nothing to do with sin. It's just, that's not my arena. That's not what God has called me to. Kind of like some of these relationship podcasts y'all be listening to, and I'm like, why y'all listening to that? Just go to the Bible. Go to the Bible. Then after that, ask God to give you some books, some practicality. So they're not going to preach against things that God is against. They're not going to talk about certain topics that will basically put them out there. So that's another thing. So they'll talk about everything else, grace. They'll talk about open doors. They're talking about you're coming into a new season. They'll talk about shifting. They'll talk about the 7 dominions and the 7 spirits. But baby, let it be talking about immorality. Let it be about sexual sin. Let it be about idolatry, about greed, about pride, about lust. Let it be about disobedience. Let it be about gossip. Let it be about being quick to run up and look for evil, baby. They won't talk about that. So that's some of the tips for the spiritual component.